Hi, welcome to 4.06, More Markets 1, and this is the very beginning, so we're starting on slide 1. You have learned about the stock market and how shares of companies are bought and sold in a stock exchange. Some stocks are safe, while others are more risky. People invest in the stock market for different reasons, but all of them want to increase their investment. When it comes to investment options, the stock market is just the beginning. There are many other markets where investors can put their money to work. Each one is unique, with its own players, goals, rules, risks, and returns. To get a sense of the variety of markets available, explore three markets that attract a wide range of investors. They are the commodity market, the bond market, and the currency exchange market. Do you want to invest in gold or silver? How about sinking an investment in pork bellies? Or perhaps you want to risk your money on the future orange crop in Florida. Welcome to the commodity market. Here, anyone with enough money can buy large amounts of all sorts of goods. Investors can even buy contracts for future purchases. In a sense, the commodity market is the biggest store in the world, selling goods today and months into the future too. Investors can buy just about any good imaginable, even some that do not yet exist. Investors in the commodity market must understand that it is volatile and risky. Prices for the goods sold there can change at lightning speed and swing wildly. Competition between buyers and sellers is intense. Investors can make fantastic returns if they choose correctly. They can also lose everything if they are not careful. Get ready to learn about investing in a whole new way. What is a commodity? You know that the commodity market is where commodities are bought and sold, but what, exactly, is a commodity? In general, a commodity is any good that has value and can be bought and sold. For buyers and sellers in the commodity market, the definition narrows. In this market, a commodity is any primary product. Primary products are unprocessed goods or resources used to produce other goods. Primary products include metals, foodstuffs, and energy, or any input that is useful for production. Coal, oil, copper, aluminum, sugar, corn, cotton, and wool are just a few examples. The general usefulness of commodities means that they are produced in large quantities by many different producers. Given their raw nature, commodities are the same across producers. In its raw, unmodified state, for example, all wheat is the same whether it is grown on a farm in Iowa or China. The main thing that varies about commodities is price. Commodity prices fluctuate regularly. Variables such as weather, seasonal demand, and disruptions from international and domestic events affect supply, particularly for agricultural commodities like corn and cotton. This causes prices to go up and down. Commodity or not. When is a good not a commodity? To be a commodity, a good must meet three conditions. It must be traded, it must be in a raw, unprocessed state, and it must be uniform across producers. Take corn, for example. Corn is a commodity because it can be bought and sold in its raw, unprocessed state, and because corn grown in Nebraska is basically the same as that grown in Argentina. If you grew some corn in your garden and served it for dinner, then that corn was not a commodity because you consumed the corn instead of trading it. If you gave some of the corn to a neighbor, that also was not a commodity, it was a gift. Corn that is used to make a corn dog is not a commodity either. Corn dogs are specialty products. While a corn dog can be bought and sold, it is not in a raw, unprocessed state. It takes the processing of various goods to make a corn dog. And corn dogs are unique, not interchangeable. A corn dog sold at the beach will be different than one at the baseball game. Early commodity trading. Commodity trading is a very old form of economic activity. Early commodity trading was simple but risky. Traders bought goods to market, negotiated trades, and usually made exchanges on the spot. Buyers paid in cash or by barter. This type of market, where buyers pay cash for goods and carry them away, is known as a cash market. Because so many of the products in the earliest commodity markets came from farms, they tended to be seasonal and highly volatile. At harvest time, the markets were full, so supply was high and prices low. During the off-season, shortages occurred, driving prices up. Sadly for farmers, prices for their crops were lowest at precisely the time that they had the most to sell. To make the market less unstable, traders began offering some traders a forward contract. For example, a shepherd might arrange advance sales of unborn spring lambs by giving buyers clay tokens to signify ownership of a share of the future flock. But forward contracts are risky by nature. Each party takes the risk that the other party might default on the contract by, for instance, never coming back to pay or failing to deliver the lambs on the date promised. Some commodity trading today still works in much the same way. Farmers markets are a great place to see this type of commodity trading in action. Farmers markets are usually open-air venues in public spaces. Vendors set up displays for their goods. Shoppers who want to buy fresh, local produce can wander through the market selecting their purchases. Shoppers usually pay farmers in cash. Farmers markets bring together farmers with goods to sell and buyers who want locally farmed produce. Unlike goods in the large commodity market, goods in farmers markets are generally less uniform. There may or may not be regulation of what is sold and who sells it. The market gives farmers a way to sell goods, but there is no way to predict demand ahead of time. Some farmers will sell all their produce, while others will still have unsold produce at the end of the day. Farmers who take their risks in the farmers market often have supplemental sources of income, such as produce sales to wholesale vendors, restaurants, and community-sponsored agricultural groups. The commodity market. The commodity market is far from the quiet farmers market. Trading takes place in a commodity exchange. A commodity exchange is a place where people make trades, but it's also an organization that sets and enforces rules about trading. Regulated commodity trading in the United States began in the middle of the 19th century. At first, trading was limited to basic agricultural goods such as cattle, hogs, corn, coffee, and wheat. Gradually, the major commodity exchanges allowed more primary products to be traded. The commodity market has grown in a slow, controlled manner. For a good to enter the market, there has to be wide agreement that the good has elementary usefulness and fulfills the other standards of being a commodity. Currently, there are about 100 different commodity categories traded on the major commodity exchanges. Within each category, there may be subcategories, such as light, sweet crude oil within the oil category, and hard red winter wheat within the wheat category. Modern commodity markets. Early commodity trading practices linger on, but the modern commodity market is new in many ways. For one thing, the modern commodity market is global and extremely large. There are about 50 major commodity exchanges that organize trade of the most basic commodities. For example, the New York Mercantile Exchange trades in precious metals and petroleum. The London Metal Exchange is the world's largest market in future contracts for many metals. The Chicago Board of Trade trades in wheat and foodstuffs, while the Chicago Mercantile Exchange trades in butter, milk, cattle, pork bellies, and other agricultural commodities. The Tokyo Grain Exchange trades in silk, soybeans, corn, sugar, and coffee. These and other big commodity exchanges form the backbone of the global economy by providing all the essential raw materials for production. Rules and regulations. Trading in major commodity markets is highly regulated. Each exchange controls the type, quantity, and quality of commodities traded in the exchange. Specifications are also set regarding mode of delivery, dates of delivery, and hours of trading for each specific commodity. You can go ahead and watch the slideshow of the New York Mercantile Exchange. And we will begin the next recording on slide 12 right here. So, as always, let me know if you have any questions about the information or if something's not making sense for you. But otherwise, we will start on slide 12 next. Have a great day, everyone.